Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh my goodness. I know you see it. You see it. Hold on. Not too much on the forehead though. Not too much on the forehead. Oh, hairline was blessed by him upstairs. Ooh. Oh my God. People kill for a hairline like this. You know that? I do know that. Welcome back. That was the dumbest intro. Anyway, welcome back. I'm keeping all of it too. Welcome back to the Lazy Guys. I'm your gracious host, Jalen, and I may or may not have got a haircut. As you can see, I'm feeling a little different. I hope I didn't shock y'all. Hope I didn't scare some people. I know y'all used to me coming on here being a little barbaric, but I'm here being a little different, being a little rascal. But no, all jokes aside, welcome back, people. It's your gracious host, Jalen of the Lazy Cast, like I mentioned, and we're here to talk football today. And I haven't talked football since obviously the Super Bowl and Jason Kelsey retiring, but in depth, it really has been since the Super Bowl. So yeah, I did mention earlier when I did the '90s overrated video that I was going to talk about the off season and everything because moves was being made as I think when that like a couple days ago as that video was coming out and shit like that. So I was like, do I really want to make it super fast? Do I really want to make this a one off and be like, whatever? Or should I wait until more moves being made, until more trades get made, until blah, blah, blah? Because I was very close to recording yesterday. Actually, no, I was going to record. I was going to record Thursday, actually. And I would have missed out on 2 more days of more trades and shit. I would have missed out on a Justin Fields shit. I would have missed out on, all these other trades and all this other stuff that was happening. So I figured I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just give it a full week for the rest of the week and just let everything accumulate. Let that shit build up, build up, build up. So I'm gonna be such a great content creator for y'all. This is actually really bad. Don't follow my advice. Be such a great content creator for y'all and just give y'all a just dump load of the trades and just a bunch of content. There it is. I was waiting for it. But yeah, I could have very well easily just made like a bunch of separate videos and, love stuff like that. But I figured why not? People like longer videos anyway. So this, that, and the third. But before we even get into talking about this off season, a couple things like, comment, subscribe, post notice, all that good stuff. Share it with whoever. I don't know. Share it with your neighbor. Share it with your mama. Share it with your mama's mama. Share it with your mama's mama's neighbor. Yeah, Anyway, before we get in, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so we're just gonna get into it. Is this the best off season ever? Yes. Atlantic. No. Okay, so a lot of people have been calling this a very video game s off season for the NFL. Rightfully so, because normally, compared to other off-season sports organization off-season, I'm just using the NBA because I'm more in depth into basketball than say any other sport. Basketball's off season is more like this. It's more similar to some shit like this. Big names being moved here, quality role players being moved here, solid all-star caliber players being moved here, young potential all-stars going there, blah blah blah. That's essentially the norm for an NBA offseason opposed to an NFL. Not so much. So when within like the first day, really, with the DeAndre Swift trade, Josh Jacobs being moved, Aaron Jones being moved, Russell Wilson being moved, Saquon Barkley being moved. And again, I'm gonna get more in depth in these individual trades later on. But it's just got all these other moves, a bunch of players getting these max contracts, like Miami with Christian Watkins getting a max contract, essentially getting 121 mil. More retirements and Fletcher Cox, even though that got overshadowed by Aaron Donald retirement. So like this offseason is really just like, hey, fuck it. We ain't got nothing else left, man. The NFL was like, you know what? Tamper all you want. We need to still be relevant. Because basketball is still going on. Baseball is about to start. UFC is still a thing. WWE is still a thing. Hockey is somewhere in the mix. Fuck it. We still want to let our shit hang. If you feel me, let it hang a little bit. Like, we can really take this shit over if we really want to. But so no, it's definitely it's so weird because it's never been like this. I think the most in the off season like this, NFL off season that got this much attention is when like Brady retired, came back, and then was like, all right, I'm done. And then came back again. So like this is like the last time that like NFL fans have really just been like up in arms about the offseason. Not to say the offseason, every single offseason is ass. I'm not saying that. But these type of moves, like damn near everyone is in a different place. Like this, looking at the rosters last year compared to the potential rosters that we have this year, this upcoming year, I should say, totally different. Damn near every running back is in a different place. I didn't even mention Austin Eckler is in a different place now. Joe Mixon is gone. Like damn near everyone is gone. Tony Pollard is not a Dallas Cowboy no more, and they were hyping him up after they got rid of Zeke. He's not there no more. So at damn near everyone is gone. Everyone's gone. And then don't even get me started with the quarterbacks. Like I mentioned, Kirk Cousins, he was drafted. He was sent to Atlanta. Justin Fields, which was the biggest, most recent trade that just happened, was sent to Pittsburgh with Russell Wilson. So, and I have I have my reservations about that whole Justin Fields thing. But yeah, Sam Darnold got moved. Kobe Brissett, I believe, got moved. Who has Kenny Pickett? He's no longer a Steeler. He's backing up Jalen Hurts. Even though Fields initially was supposed to come to Philly, even though again, I'm gonna get into the whole Fields thing, but this offseason was very, very, very it was very exciting. And for an NFL fan, for a American football fan, can't want nothing else but it. And then with the draft right around the corner, literally like I think within a month or two, the draft is about to start. Man, it make it feel like football didn't even. It feel like the Super Bowl didn't even end yet. It feel like it's still more and more and exciting things that's still happening, and it's consistent. And I feel like me dropping this shit now, fucking Patrick Mahomes might get traded. Who knows? It won't happen, but fuck it, we don't know. I don't know. Joe Burrow might get traded. Somebody else might get traded. We don't fucking know. But enough putting off everything aside. Justin Fields. Let's get into Justin Fields. Let's get into let's get into you. Let's get into y'all's boy, man. The Fields Meister. All right. So Ironically enough, I was actually going to record yesterday. Believe it or not, fingers crossed. I was going to record yesterday. I initially I remember I was in the shower. I do this every time before I record. I always like run through what I'm gonna say, opposed to just like writing it down. I do write down certain things, but opposed to just like free flowing and stuff like this, I tend to just write shit down, or I tend to just be in the shower with my thoughts and just ramble, just ramble, just ramble, just ramble, and just go. And then once the camera turn on, I kind of already have an idea of what I was gonna say. And again, some of y'all probably not gonna believe this. I were gonna come on here yesterday before I even got my haircut, looking dirty and dingy. I was gonna come on here and talk about how I thought the Bears should not have traded Fields or shouldn't trade Fields. You already have the weapons that he's never had, and you saw what happened when he actually had a significant wide receiver around him, a true number one wide receiver in a DJ Moore, had one of his best statistical seasons damn near ever. Obviously, he got hurt, but still, towards the end, they went on that little run, had a couple winning game, having had a couple winning games in a row. It was the future was looking bright. And also, we haven't even hit the draft yet, so they can still potentially get more weapons and still get better. No question. And also, even though the Fields thing is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, the Bears, without question, without a shadow of a doubt, had the best offseason. Zero question. And I remember talking about this last season, I believe, when I was still in media school and I had my own radio show and I was doing with my two friends, Darius and Jacob. Shout out my boys, 300 Club. And we were talking about the Bears and how going from this season to the next season and how they're going to have so much money to play with. They're going to have just a shit ton of money to play with. And they can go get fuck if they wanted to. They could go get a Myles Garrett on that D line. Obviously, that didn't happen, but they could go get a Stephon Diggs if they really wanted to. Obviously, that didn't happen, but you see them. They can go throw a shit ton of money at at a star player or two if they really wanted to because they had that ample amount of money. So, big ups on the Bears. I will say this with Chicago teams, the things that I think the biggest thing of the biggest stigma about Chicago teams is that when it comes to either the trade deadline or comes to either the off season, no matter what organization it is, Chicago teams don't like to spend money. They don't. They're very cheap. While it being one of the biggest markets in all of sports in all of the United States of America. Yeah, it is somehow very, very, very cheap. Very cheap. See it with the Bulls. For a long time, you've seen it with the Bears. For a long time, you've seen it with the Bears before the Keenan Allen and really DJ Moore trade. The last time that the Bears really signed a like true like star for it was like probably Brandon Marshall, and I was back in like 2013. So, or really, you could say maybe Khalil Mack, and I was like a Khalil Mack or Brandon Marshall, which was around that time period. That was like the last time the Bears actually like tried to do something in the offseason. Other than that, niggas is very cheap. Same. The Bears are a little bit better at it. The Bulls, however, we already know how the Bulls are. I'm not going to get into them. It's a football video. But to see that the Bears actually went out, got talent at places that they relatively needed talent at, add another running back to that already solid running back room, and the DeAndre Swift coming off in 1,000-year rushing year with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, was he my favorite running back in the league? No. But I will say having him there last season, and one of my biggest things that I always said when watching Philadelphia play and when watching Swift play, I always hated how we utilized him because there would be stretches, there would be games where he would have career games. There would be games where he looks like damn near the best player on the field. There would be games where he looks unstoppable, and that could all be in the first half, and then come second half, we would just take the nigga out the quarter. Take him out the third quarter, try to throw him in the fourth, see if he can get hot. If not, then that's game. I hated how we utilized him most times because I feel like we didn't utilize him enough, especially with Hurts being injured last year and him not having his best, his like one of his worst seasons since like his rookie year. So I feel like we could have leaned on Swift a little bit more than we did. So the Bears, in that sense, yes, kind of overpaid to get him a little bit, but I feel like that's somewhat worth it because you're having a guy who was relative who has had injury problems in the past, but was relatively healthy last year, and I think that can continue this year. And again, the Bears building up that offensive line which was average at best last season, and also had really solid running backs and just a really solid dynamic running game as a whole last season. Obviously, a bunch of that came from Justin Fields, who isn't there no more, but still, DeAndre Swift could pick up the slack of a lot of it. So obviously, with Swift being in that backfield with he who shall not be named yet in a special quarterback that the Bears most likely will draft with the number one pick. You have Swift, obviously DJ Moore and Keenan Allen now, who you have two really number one caliber wide receivers on the same team. I think DJ Moore you would still want him to be the number one guy in that receiver room, just because I feel like I think he's better than Keenan. I don't, Yeah, I would take DJ Moore over Keenan Allen. Me personally, I would. But you can't go wrong with having either one of those guys to throw to. And he used to have someone like a Cole Kmet, who's a young up and coming tight end who's actually really good and having had one of his best seasons last year. Now, on to the QB. And again, you have not seen this. None of y'all have seen this. But for the people that I've talked to, I have talked to an absurd amount of Bears fans. Like, I shit you not. I've talked to an absurd amount of Bears fans. I've talked to my dad. I've talked to my uncles. I've talked to people I've worked with. I've talked to people I personally don't know, but they are Chicago fans. I've talked to damn near every single Chicagoan that I can find that likes the Bears and that knows something, somewhat anything about football. And all of them said they don't want Caleb Williams. All of them. All of them. Damn near all of them. Now, there was a certain few that said, Fields just isn't that guy. He's proven in time and time and time and time again, Fields isn't the guy we want, something that we want Caleb. There has been the slight few that have said they don't want Caleb. I mean, that they want Caleb. But the majority of people that I have talked to that are Chicago fans, and I'm keeping it exclusively to Chicago fans because they're watching every single game, opposed to the outside people that I'm seeing that have talked about Justin Fields, they're using numbers opposed to actually watching the game, and they're just picking the low lights of Justin opposed to, again, watching the fucking game. And just to bring it back full circle, watching the game, actually paying attention to what these players are doing. Same thing with if you want to bring up basketball in a sense, people don't really understand football in a sense. Same thing with we done with the 90s. You can't really make an argument about these people, about these players that have a consistent take or a conclusive take if you don't watch the fucking players. I think that's it. I think that's it. You can't really have these type of takes if you aren't watching these players. You can't really say Michael Jordan isn't a GOAT if you haven't seen him play. Or it's like, oh, I wasn't born in the 90s. Niggas, YouTube exists. I know you have YouTube because you just made 68 quotes about LeBron James. YouTube exists. Same thing for these people talking about Justin Fields. YouTube exists. They do. They do. It does. You can watch these games. You want to know how I know you're watching these games? Because you're claiming to watch the games over every other player and all your other favorite players. Watch the games. Watch. That's all I ask. And if you don't, even if you do watch the games, please just don't throw numbers out. Stats with context means so much in today's game, no matter what sport it is. And I truly, this is the biggest thing. I think it's my biggest pet peeve with just sports fans in general, with sports media in general. Stats without context is the dumbest and most annoying thing ever in sports media. And I think now, because a lot of people have access to just simply stuff that we just didn't have access to before, is that we can see and hear and know and learn about all the stuff that's going on the field, behind the scenes, on the court, off the court, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and just learning stuff that we just simply didn't know back in the past. So, stats without context. Stop doing that shit. Please just stop throwing numbers around. Please. Please stop throwing numbers around. Please. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. And if you watch the game, if you're using stats with context and you genuinely just did not like Justin Fields with Chicago, then that's you. Again, I'm not saying that you needed to like Justin Fields. I'm not saying Justin Fields needed to be your favorite player on the Bears. I'm not saying that you truly, 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 really did not want Caleb Williams. And I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is, for the people with the outside noise that are just harping on the bandwagon and just don't like the dude just because it's popular to not like the dude, or it's just popular to not like him because the fans may overrate him a little bit. Gone with that shit. That shit is annoying. Stop it. Please, please stop it. Please just stop it. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I've given my take on the whole Justin Fields and Caleb Williams argument, whatever the case may be, or debate. Again, I didn't think Caleb was going to be any better off than Fields, given to the situation that they were in currently at that time, in the middle of the season. Obviously, Caleb is going to be drafted into a much, much better situation than Fields has ever been in. No fucking question. No question at all. Fields has never had that type of a wide receiver core. He's never had that type of running back room, and I'm guessing they're gonna. I'm guessing they're gonna build up that O-line in a draft. Fields has never had any of that shit. Never. Zero. Zilch. Nada. He's never had any of that shit. So obviously, Caleb Williams, in my humble opinion, is going to look better than Fields because of simply what he's going to have around him. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's not. And this is, again, not hate on Caleb. I think the people that are going so far as to say he'll be a bust, or I think he'll be all right, but he ain't gonna be. I just generally think them niggas just either, one, don't like him, think he's overrated, or two, they don't like him because he paint his nails, which is so dumb. But whatever. Niggas think he's soft because he paint his nails. Okay, bro, that's dumb. I've always thought that take was stupid, but whatever. But yeah, I think Caleb will be good, and to win over this fan base that has actually grown and somewhat attached to their last quarterback, it will take some time. I generally don't see Caleb winning over this fan base till like probably week 5 or week 6. If the Bears are losing games, Caleb is going to take a lot of the blame. A lot of the blame. And he could be balling the fuck out. He could be rookie of the year, no question. 3K, 2K yards, already got 15. Like, he could be one of the best QBs already, no question. And he is going to get a lot of the blame. Just for the simple fact that we gave up Fields for this guy and we're not winning games. He's just a stat pattern. He's just bad, good stats, bad teams type. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be unnecessary drama that hopefully the Bears are going to be prepared for. Again, obviously, we don't know because the season hasn't started yet. Hell, the draft hasn't started yet. For all we know, the Bears could go take Drake May instead of Caleb Williams. That would be such a fucking Bears move. To do all this hype and all this talk about going to get Caleb Williams and don't draft him. Give away Justin Fields and don't even. That's such a Bears move. Them niggas. Hey, man. Hey, man. You know what's crazy? Hey, man, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, do not, the Bears have that first overall pick, but please, please do not be shocked. Don't be shocked if all of a sudden, we start hearing rumors. Oh man, Drake May starting to look real number one picky. She's starting to look real. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. The Bear, that's a classic Bears move. They had it number. Boop, throw that shit away, man. Classic Bears. Classic Bears. Let me stop. But yeah, but yeah, I've said my piece on Fields and just his whole situation. I I hope he does better in Pittsburgh. Part of the reason why I personally didn't want him in Philadelphia because there was reports that Philly essentially offered damn near the same shit, if not a little bit more, than what Pittsburgh offered to get Justin from Chicago, and I wouldn't have been a fan of that. I wouldn't have hated it, but I would just truly personally wouldn't have been a fan of that. One, because I would have liked to see him in a situation that actually needed a quarterback, like a Raiders, like a Giants situation. Shit, maybe a Washington, a Denver situation, or something like that. Even though Washington is probably going to pick like a Drake May or something like that, but I personally wanted to see him actually get another opportunity. I really, 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 really thought he should have went to the Raiders. In my humble opinion, if they really wanted to trade him, I really thought he wanted to go. He should have went to the Raiders. But again, it came out that Fields picked, like handpicked, he wanted to go to Pittsburgh. So the man wanted to go to Pittsburgh. Fuck what I got to say. I don't. It doesn't matter what anybody else to say. He wanted to go to Pittsburgh. So we can all say we wanted him to go here, 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 here. The man went where he wanted to go. So a year and some change under Russell Wilson, essentially the same type of archetype of a player. I think it should be good for him. Again, Pittsburgh offensively, not not that great. You know, outside of George Pickens, that wide receiver core is very spotty. You know, they did pick up Van Jefferson, who was a solid number three type receiver when he was with the Rams last season. But again, they're gonna have to build up that wide receiver core through the draft very heavily, very heavily. So I hope Justin Fields does great. Again, I'm a big advocate of let these young players cook. I need to make that some merch. I need to get a shirt that says "Let young players cook" or some shit like that. But I hope Justin Fields do good again, and I want Caleb Williams to do good too. I don't wish bad things upon any player coming into whatever situation or whatever league it is. I want all of these players to thrive and be legends and be great and be good and whatever the case may be. So Caleb Williams, just know if you ever see this, you have a shit ton of responsibility on your hands. Because on paper, with Caleb and all the offensive stuff that they've added, and still with the draft not even fully done, not even started, I mean, they could essentially get better. This, on paper, should be a playoff team. Should be. Will it be? Probably not. I think they'll be damn close. But on paper, this should be a playoff team. On paper. But let me know what y'all think. Let me know about what y'all think about Justin Fields being moved to Pittsburgh. Let me know what y'all think about the Bears. Most likely, again, I'm not guaranteeing it just because I know the Bears, but most likely going to get Caleb Williams with the number one pick. But moving on to more QBs. Hey man, Atlanta got that guy, man. We got Ice Trey Kurt, man. Ice Trey Kurt. You see the ice, you see it glisten. Hey man, Kirk by like 16 of these, but just 60 times bigger, the size of my head. I say Atlanta and Pitt are getting scary. Good. You know, man. Let's just talk about the Falcons since we just got done talking about Pittsburgh. But man, if we go and look at the Atlanta Falcons real quick, just off rip, obviously we know that Atlanta did went and pick up. Off rip, we know the Atlanta Falcons did go and pick up Kirk Cousins, 4 year, 180 mil. And that man's agent, dog. That man's agent is ridiculous, dude. that man has gotten him paid. Like that man has gotten him paid. But if we're looking solely just at Atlanta's signings through the year, let's just go and take a quick look at these real quick. Obviously, Kirk Cousins signed a 4-year, $180 million contract that includes a $50 million signing bonus. Cousins receives $100 million guaranteed, including $90 million in 2024 and 25, and another $10 million in 2026. Ray McLeod also signed a 2-year deal. Cardale Hodge signed a deal. Darnell Mooney, 3-year, $39 million with 26 fully guaranteed. Rondale Moore, a trade from the Cardinals. He's there in exchange for Desmond Ridder. They got an O-lineman, a tight end. So, and yeah, man, like I mentioned, again, defensively, Atlanta is still a little shaky. They still have Jesse Bates the third, who was one of the best safeties in all of football last year. But I still think, again, defensively, once they build up that defensive side of the ball, maybe go get some pass rushers. And I think because the secondary is okay, obviously having AJ Terrell Jr. and again, like I mentioned, Jesse Bates. Secondary wise, I think that should be okay. That D line is a little shaky to me, just a tad bit. And I also couldn't go wrong with some more linebackers as well. But offensively, this is arguably the best offense in the league, no question. No fucking question. Adding in 2 speedsters in Rondale Moore and Darnell Mooney to that already stacked offensive trio, and a Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, and Kirk Cousins. Crazy work. Crazy work. Crazy work. And also another thing that factors in, the NFC South is easily the weakest division in football, and Atlanta with Desmond Ridder as their QB damn near made the playoffs. Imagine what Kirk Cousins, who was having one of his best years before he got hurt, does with that type of offense. Imagine the type of jump that a Kyle Pitts is going to take. Imagine the jump that a Bijan Robinson is going to take. Imagine the jump that a Darnell Mooney is going to take. Rondale Moore is going to take. Mac Hollins is going to take. Imagine the jump that all these players are still going to take. And again, the draft hasn't started yet, ladies and gentlemen. So they can go get more pieces. They can get even better, even more hidden gems in the draft. Atlanta's a damn scary team. A damn good team. Very, very good team. Very good team. Again, I personally think they use this upcoming draft because offensively, I feel like they set. Offensively, maybe get a couple O linemen here and there. But offensively, they're fucking set. They're set. They don't really need much. That defense side of the ball, if they go get some weapons on defense, go get a pass rusher or two, maybe get a linebacker or two, another DB to pair alongside AJ Terrell, dog, that's going to be not only one of the scariest teams in the NFC South, but damn near one of the scariest teams in the NFC, period. So, man, I don't know, man. I know, again, another quarterback that was linked with going to Atlanta was Justin Fields because he's from Atlanta. But, man, I think they did make the right move in going to get a veteran in a Kirk Cousins who can really elevate the players around him. Not to say that Fields couldn't, but to have a dude who's been there, done that, has won a bunch of games, been in playoff situations. While, yes, it's the stigma that Kirk Cousins can't win in, prime time games and clutch time games, it's still, while he was in Minnesota, he was still a top 10 caliber quarterback regardless of the team. So, yeah, man. I'm proud of Atlanta, man. I'm very proud of them. They are going to be a very scary team to watch out for. And like I said, man, they're going to be scary good. And also another team, like I mentioned, that is going to be quite underrated, had an underrated off season, obviously with the 2 biggest moves being quarterback positions, but still quite underrated in a sense. Obviously, Justin Fields being from the Bears for a 6th round pick, and obviously Russell Wilson signing a 1-year deal. On the defensive side of the ball, the Pittsburgh Steelers coming into the season is probably going to be one of the best defensive teams in all of the league. They still have a TJ Watt. I mean, yeah, they still have a TJ Watt. They still have Hayward in that middle. Now you add a Patrick Queen and Dante Jackson, 3-year, 41 mil, and getting Dante Jackson in a trade while again giving up a DeJounte Johnson who had probably a down year. Hey man, and getting a Deshaun Elliott also as a safety, dog. Defensively, Pittsburgh is this damn good team. Pittsburgh is a damn good team. Just imagine if Atlanta had this type of a fucking had this type of an all season where they had a Kirk Cousins and also got like a Pat man. Be damn near the best offseason ever. But I still think the Bears are the best offseason, just from top to bottom. But Pittsburgh, obviously, going into the draft, things that they need to look for, in my humble opinion, is strictly offense. Offense. I think it may be time to move off Najee Harris. I'm surprised he didn't get moved, in my humble opinion, because he's definitely regressed since his rookie year. So maybe go and look and find maybe a running back in those later rounds. But I think their biggest target, in my humble opinion, is going to be getting a wide receiver to pair alongside George Pickens. Because, man, that wide receiver room is a ghost town. That wide receiver room is a ghost town. Without if you just look, it's literally George Pickens. That's it. It's George Pickens and that's it. It's George Pickens and that's it, man. But also, before we even get into some other notable, before we even get into my Eagles, I should say, another notable, big time trade that happened that I wanted to talk about. This man right here, Derrick Henry, signed a 2-year, $16 million contract that has a max value of being $20 million, includes a $9 million guarantee, also getting Nelson Agholor. Solid. And re-signing their D lineman for 4-year, $98 million. One of the more underrated D linemen from last season. But obviously the biggest thing that happened was Derrick Henry. No question. Yeah, the AFC's fucked. Because I don't know how you stop a Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry backcourt. I mean, I keep saying backfield. That read option is about to go stupid. And just simply another year under Zay Flowers' belt. Rashad Bateman is still there. Baltimore is poised to make another run. Just quickly going through these. T. Higgins getting franchise tagged, so he's most likely gone after this year. Mike Gesicki, Zach Moss. Obviously, they got rid of Joe Mixon. He's no longer there. He's a Houston Texan. Jerry Jeudy is now a Cleveland Brown. Jameis Winston signed a 1-year deal for the Cleveland Browns. I'm interested to see how much they're going to use of him, depending on how healthy Deshaun Watson is. So I'm interested to see how much they're going to actually use of him. But yeah, Houston, now this is the team I thought Saquon Barkley was going to go to because they were linked to him heavy. I mean, like really heavy. I'm like, oh, whatever. But obviously getting Joe Mixon, obviously not getting Saquon, but still getting a running back who's still of great value. Getting a Noah Brown who have really good flashes and really good moments for this team last season. Dalton Schultz also very solid for this team last season. Really just a bunch of re-signing and stuff like that, bringing back a bunch of the solid players that they had, which you really don't want to mess up that type of core. But while doing that, adding into it, bringing in a Danielle Hunter from the Vikings, who was really solid as well. So the Colts, I didn't even know they got Joe Flacco. Oh shit. Michael Pittman signed a 3-year, $70 million deal. Oh wow. Shout out to him. Now this is the team that is the definition of unfucking serious. These niggas are unserious. Outside of bringing back what's the name, Josh Allen, the fucking Jaguars, man. This is the last time I'm gonna give my hope into this team. Let me big screen. Am I big screen? Have I been okay? I thought I was big screen. This is the last time that I'm gonna give my hope into this team. Let me just put on lazy cats because we're not talking about those two teams. This is the last time I'm gonna be happy or hyped about the Jaguars. The year that they got Doug Peterson, I'm like, oh man, this is the year these dudes are gonna be what the Bengals were last season. They're gonna jump and be a 10-win team, playoff contender. Woot 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 woot. Obviously didn't happen. Injuries, whatever. Okay, cool. They got Calvin Ridley, another year on the Trevor Lawrence's belt. Doug Peterson, Evan Ingram resurgence. Travis Etienne has a full year. This looked great. Obviously, no one expected Houston to be as good as they were, and obviously, no one expected fucking Gardner Minshew to be as good as he was with the Colts. But still, had that division on lock. On lock. Was right there. Right fucking there. Right there. And them niggas choked it away. The definition of unserious. This is the last year. The last year. The last year I am going to be somewhat hyped for the team. My hype every single year has gone down. First year when I got Doug, it was at a 10. Second year, it was at like 8. This year, shit's down to like a 5. I'm not very hyped for this team. But just be honest. The AFC South has just gotten better, and these niggas haven't. What did we do? Go get Gabe Davis. Fucking what? Because Calvin Ridley's gone. Calvin Ridley's most likely gone. I don't know if he is gone or not, but I think he's gone. Either he's gone or he's going to be moved. So Calvin Ridley's gone. What? Relatively the same team. But like, why are we coming back with relatively the same team? Why? Can someone explain that to me? I get it. They were damn near a playoff contending team. They were like 6-3 at one point. They were a really solid team. This time, third. I understand all that shit. I really, really do. Really do. Trust me, I do. But am I the only one that feels like this team should be better than what it is? I think that's why I'm so irritated with this team. Because I feel like they should be a lot better than what they are. I really do. This is the definition of an unserious ass fucking team. And once these niggas made this move, on top of this move, yeah, these niggas aren't serious. These motherfuckers right here are unserious. Hell, you can say that, yeah, Calvin really did get moved. He went to the fucking Titans. You can say these niggas had a better offseason than them. And they probably will because they're going to get a franchise type quarterback in the draft, hopefully. Yeah, bro. You niggas are unserious. So fucking unserious. Broncos did nothing. Chiefs, Hollywood Brown also. I forgot to talk about that. And also bringing back Chris Jones, 5-year, 158 mil with the 101 mil guaranteed. Obviously the right move. Franchise tagging. Non-exclusive franchise tag, which is worth up to 20 mil. L'Jarius Sneed. Obviously, the two biggest moves really was bringing back these two dudes. I don't even think that's without question. One of the best DBs in all of football, and easily the best D tackle in all of football, no question. Gardner Minshew coming back. Again, interested to see how long if he will start, depending on who they get in the draft. Just curious. And then Christian Wilkins from the Dolphins going to them for 4-year D tackle, another underrated, really solid tackle. 4 year, 110 mil with 84 to 85 ish being guaranteed. The Chargers, man, they lost a lot. The Chargers lost a lot. No Keenan Allen, no Austin Eckler, two very key ingredients of that offense. Man, they lost a lot, man. They lost a lot. But going back up, Matt Collins isn't with them no more, so he's with the Bills. Mitch Trubisky coming to Buffalo, 5 year deal. Curtis Samuel, solid. Bills, not that much they've done with the Dolphins. Shaq Barrett is a solid pickup for them. Ganu Smith, John Smith, solid pickup. A lot of solid key role players for them. There's a lot of solid key plug-in type players that can do damage for this team. So I like that. With the Patriots, I'm shocked that they didn't go after a big time wide receiver. Again, I get it because they don't have a quarterback, so I can see why. But I'm shocked that they didn't go and get a wide receiver, man. I know they re-signed Kendrick Bourne and Jalen Rager, but still, I don't know what this team is doing. They just re-signed a bunch of guys, really. Yeah, they just re-signed a bunch of dudes, brought in Jacoby Brissett. I don't know. Tyrod Taylor is now a New Jersey Jet, a New York Net. Uh, Jets. Tyron Smith signed a 1 year deal up to 20 mil, and that's pretty much it for the Jets. It looks like they're gonna build and essentially getting O lineman obviously up, but going into the draft, their biggest need is offensive lineman because you can't have what happened to Aaron Rodgers happen again for 2 years in a row. You really can't have that shit. So go get some offensive linemen, please. Go get somebody. The Cowboys, literally the Jags of the East or the NFC. The Jags of the NFC. The Jags of the Blue, baby. Unfucking serious. This team is probably more serious than the Jags are because the fact that you niggas did nothing. I know it says 3 names. These niggas is probably not going to see the field, let's be honest. And even before this one, every other team was making moves. The Cowboys didn't make a single move. And even just looking at all these teams that have made a significant amount of moves, the Cowboys have only made 3 moves. Come on now. So they've done nothing. Like absolutely nothing. The Giants brought in Drew Lock. Drew Lock, he've already said that he's going to be behind Daniel Jones. So again, makes sense because they're paying Jones damn near 50 mil. Makes a lot of sense. The biggest signing, however, was Brian Burns. They got him in a trade, obviously. But yeah, build up that defense a little bit. Obviously, the Giants have a lot of problems. Saquon wasn't one of them, but they have a lot of problems. I think wide receiver probably is the biggest problem for them right now. But if you really want to be technical, you could say quarterback. You could say that O-line is not great. Defensively, they're not as good as they're supposed to be. Yeah, man, they got a lot of problems over there in New York. I'm skipping past the Eagles because I'm gonna leave them for last. But with the Commanders getting Marcus Mariota, solid backup to whatever quarterback that they draft. Austin Eckler, really good running back. Obviously was injured last year, so he was obviously not as good and as fast as he once was. When he was with the Chargers, when he was leading the league in like touchdowns and rushing yards and shit like that. But again, a good, reliable running back for whatever rookie quarterback that they go draft. Zach Ertz, good safety blanket for whatever QB they get. O linemen, some solid edge rushers, and Dante Flower as well. Some linebackers giving Bobby Wagner a chance again, 1 year deal up to 8. It's essentially 9 mil going to get. I thought that shit said 4,000. I'm like, whoa, that's the first time I seen the player get signed for 4,000. I thought this just said 4,000. Getting Jeremy Chin, solid for that backcourt. Again, the Bears. I've already went in detail with the Bears and what they've done. Like I've mentioned, they had a lot of money. They had a lot of fucking money to spend. Kevin Bird and the safety, bringing back Jalen Johnson for 4 years, 76 mil. Getting Gerald Everett from the Chargers, Ryan Bates, Deontay Pettis was a solid wideout last year. Yeah, man. This Bears offseason. The Bears, like I said, easily had the best offseason. No question. No question. The Lions. I didn't hear much about the Lions this offseason. Who did they grab? Peoples Jones, he was solid. Oh, they brought him back. Nice. Some edge rushers. Okay. Yeah. This is again solid bunch of kind of what like the Bills and the Dolphins did. A lot of solid role players for them, re-signing guys, bringing back guys. Because you really don't want to mess up that type of shit. But the Packers, obviously, their biggest signing was going to get Josh Jacobs, 4 year, 48 mil, bringing back AJ Dillon. So that's probably the best running back duo in the league right now. Getting Xavier McKinney, that's really nice. Signing him for 4 years, 68 mil. Vikings getting Sam Darnold, Aaron Jones, some old linemen, some edge. Yeah. Vikings also had a solid ass fucking off season too. The NFC North, man. NFC North got better. It really did. Again, still waiting to see who they're gonna draft that QB. Again, most likely might be Caleb, but again, you never know with this team, you never know with this franchise, but a lot of people are going to be banking that it's going to be Caleb Williams. But yeah, the NFC North, this shit got better. Damn near every team got better. Yeah, man. NFC North no longer laughing stock. NFC South, however, not so much. Signing some old linemen, solid, much needed for Bryce Young. I forgot who their quarterback was. Deontay Johnson. I mean, yeah, even though Bryce Young is going to need a lot more help on the offensive side of the ball, but really they just spent a lot of their offseason just getting some defensive rushers. It will make sense. And for the Saints, who did fuck all, brought in Demario Davis, Honey Badger, Willie Gay, and that's pretty much it. The Bucks bring back Baker Mayfield for a 3-year, $100 million contract. Bring back Mike Evans for 2 year, 52 mil, and get some old linemen, getting Bryce Hall, Jordan Whitehead. Bring back an franchise tag Whitefield Jr. Excuse me. And for the West, getting Desmond Ritter, losing Rondell Moore, getting some old lineman help, essentially saying that, yo, Kyler, you're our guy. You're going to lead us to the promised land. Rams, Jimmy G, nothing else after that, really. 49ers, some edge rushing with Leonard Floyd from the Rams, getting a bunch of D tackles. So these motherfuckers knew that. These motherfuckers really, they knew already, like, yeah, we gotta build up our D line again because Aaron Donald is pretty much gone. So they pretty much knew they stacked up that D line, which makes sense. Sam Howell is going to be backing up Geno Smith, and then them bringing back Leonard Williams as well for 3 years, 64 mil. Noah Fant coming back, and George Fant. Oh, I didn't know he had a brother. And that's it. So let's go back up to my guys. Let's go back up to my guys. The Philadelphia Eagles. We lost 2 key players, obviously, with Jason Kelce retiring and also Fletcher Cox. he retired as well. Again, it got overshadowed heavily because Aaron Donald retired like a day later, but or like a day or two later. So, but yeah, looking at just quickly, just going through just the entire off season for us, the biggest thing is bringing back Jake Elliott. Lord have mercy, thank you. Because if we would have let this man walk, I would have probably retired being an Eagles fan, because you know how many fucking points he got for us last season. You know how many times this man has bailed us out last season. Thank you for not letting him walk. Give that man whatever money he needs. Fuck it. Give him 100 mil. I don't care. I'm joking. Please don't give him 100 mil. But I'm not joking. Give him 100 mil if he asks for it. But I would say we had a pretty solid offseason. A pretty solid offseason. I'm not gonna lie to you. Obviously, getting a backup QB for Hurts, because he was dealing with knee troubles last season, and also having someone to sit under Hurts. Um, couldn't be too bad. A good backup option. Really, now in today's league, you really need two solid QBs. One good to great starter, and okay to good backup. So Kenny Pickett obviously be a good backup for us. The biggest signing, however, Saquon Barkley, getting it for 3 years, 37.7 mil, with 25 being guaranteed. 25, essentially 26 being guaranteed. This is huge. And for the people that are saying it is an overpay, shut up. Just shut that shit all the way up. Because for the simple fact that he's good. No. For the people that are saying that he's going to be injury prone and we're going to have him for 3 games and blah, 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 and all this other stuff, Saquon Barkley has been relatively healthy for these past 2 seasons. The reason that he was healthy and the reason that the Giants made the playoffs the year prior to last season is because he was healthy. And he was actually also healthy for majority of last season as well. So I would be shocked if he all of a sudden falls off of a cliff and not expecting a freak accident for it to happen or some bullshit like that. But yeah, his ability to that backcourt of him, I keep saying backcourt, that backfield of him and Jalen Hurts, that's just gonna be tea. That shit gonna be pressure. Pressure. Good luck trying to stop him, Jalen Hurts, someone that can throw out of the backfield, easily a better pass catcher in the backfield of DeAndre Swift and Miles Sanders, the past 2 running backs that we've had. No question. And solid blocker. I think just his ability to really take the pressure off of Fields as well, for him to just, if you don't see AJ, don't see Devontae, just throw down, dump it down for Saquon, go make a play. Go make us a play, big dog. So yes, I'm very excited for this Saquon Barkley. For the Saquon Barkley signing. And I just realized that I spelled his name wrong. I'm sorry. I just realized that. I put an A instead of an O. Yeah, I put an A instead of an O. But yeah. Yeah, man. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for the Saquon Barkley signing. Also getting Devontae Parker, another solid wide receiver for us to throw in the mix. Landon Dickerson agreeing to a 4-year, $84 million extension with the max being a value of $87 million, which includes $50 million being guaranteed. Entering his final year of his rookie contract. Holy shit, I didn't know that. And more offensive linemen help. Obviously, Jason Kelce's no longer there. Brandon Graham, this is most likely going to be his last year with Fletcher Cox leaving and Kelce leaving. This is most likely going to be his last year, which I don't want it to be, but I understand he's very, very old along with those other 2 guys. So he's looking hopefully to get one last ring out of it. So hopefully we can get it to him before he leaves. Getting another edge rusher in the Bryce Huff along, obviously, 9 times out of 10, you want to get these people, replace like a Fletcher Cox, getting a Bryce Huff, another edge rusher, a 3-year, 51 mil. Zach Braun bringing him in, and Julian Okoa bringing him in, and also getting Devin White from the Bucks on a 1-year, $7.5 million deal, bringing back CJ Gardner-Johnson for a 3-year deal up to worth $33 million, like I mentioned, and bringing in Jake Elliott. Now, with the whole CJ thing and the whole James Bradberry thing and Darius Slay and blah, 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 blah. We, as a collective, and when it happened, I don't think I was recording. I don't think I had YouTube at the time. And if I did, I am pretty sure that I would have been very upset when we got rid of him in the first fucking place. I didn't think we were supposed to get rid of him in the first place. And I understand why they did it, because it's like we had 3 all-pro, like Pro Bowl caliber cornerbacks on our team at one time, in CJ, in James, in Darius Slay. Yes, James Bradberry was a all-pro cornerback or a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback at one point of a time. But yes, we didn't need all 3 of them because we weren't going to be able to pay all 3 of them. I understand that. Hell, I didn't even think we were going to be able to pay Darius Slay, and we somehow brought him back. But if we were supposed to pick between the 2, we were not supposed to get rid of him. Under no circumstance were we ever supposed to get rid of this nigga. Obviously, saying that now sounds like, oh, well, duh, you're supposed to say that now. He was a lot better with Detroit. James Bradberry's as blue. No. If you just go back and watch his time with us when he was an Eagle, compared to James Bradberry, he was easily the cornerback number 2. He was easily DB number 2. It was Slay, him, and Bradberry. Easy. The reason Bradberry looks so good is because CJ and Darius were taking all the attention off of him. That's why. That's why he looked so damn good and was a Pro Bowl caliber fucking DB. That's why. Because him and Darius Slay looked so goddamn good and was so damn dominant. But I'm just glad he's back. I'm just glad he's back. We can move Bradberry down, put CJ back up there. It's just like the good old days. It's just like the good old days, man. But with that being said, that is it. That is it. Now watch, there's going to be something else that's going to happen tomorrow. There's going to be some other big trade or some bullshit that's going to happen tomorrow. And if that's the case, you won't see me because I've said all I've said. I don't know. Depends how big it is. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been your great associate, Jalen. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, post notice, comment, share, all that good stuff. And yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying these type of videos. This is one of the more longer videos that I've made. I've been trying to mix in, doing shorter videos, the 20-minute, 30-minute videos, and still trying to provide the longer videos like these, the hours and stuff like that, just so hopefully a good blend and a good mixture. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the type of content that I've been producing. And if that is the case, make sure you tell all your peoples. So this will be a Lazy Guys episode, by the way. I was debating making this a one-off, but I'm gonna just make it a Lazy Guys episode. But hopefully you guys enjoyed.